All right, welcome everybody to the NFC Championship edition of the Under the Dome show. I'm your host, Alan Ulrich, here with my partner, Sean Williams, and a special guest we have tonight, former New Orleans Saint defensive back, Alex Molden of the University of Oregon, Oregon Duck. We have Alex on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about his career, his time with the Saints, his time with the Chargers, and also his life after football. And we'll also talk a little bit about the that playoff game thing that we had the other day that, I think people kind of got excited about. We kind of, it was kind of a big deal. It's leading to an even bigger game here the next day, this Sunday. So we'll go through all that. And as always, we're glad you joined us this evening. Thank you for spending some time with us. And Sean, how are you today?
I am spectacular. We are, geez, man. When we started this show, we went through, if I'm remembering correctly, we went through a 7-9 season the first year we did Under the Dome.
Mm-hmm.
If you had told me then that within 2 years of that we would be a game from playing in the Superdome, the Super Bowl, wow, that's mind-boggling. But we got the guys to do it. We're going to get into all of that in a little bit. As I said, welcome to On the Dome podcast. We thank you for joining us. We invite you guys to subscribe to us on iTunes and on YouTube. And as always, we thank our sponsors, Fan First Productions. Real quick, we have a friend of the show, has been a supporter of us from day one, Miss Angela Marie Nemick, that is in the contest. And if you go to the Under the Dome page, I have posted on there where you can go vote for her as many times as possible. She is in Tennessee, and she is an absolute die-hard. If there has ever been anyone that supports this team, win, lose, or draw, it's Angela. And she deserves her vote. She deserves to win this contest. Y'all go help her out and vote for her. And also, oddly enough and ironically enough, today, aside from being Drew Brees' 40th birthday, Angela's sister, another one of our very staunch supporters that we love so much, Christy Armstrong, we want to wish you a very, very happy birthday today. And as well, Sylvia Gordon, friend of mine. I know she's probably not watching, but I just wanted to get that out there. Happy birthday, Sylvia. Happy birthday, Christy. Good luck, Angela. And without further ado, our guest tonight, a former first-round draft pick, 11th pick in the draft, former defensive back for the Saints and Chargers and the Detroit Lions, Mr. Alex Molden. Welcome, Alex. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Welcome to the show, Alex. We're going to get right to the nitty-gritty here. Okay, you went to the University of Oregon, but you're not really from Oregon. How did you end up over there?
No, I'm from Colorado. And, it was, at the time I was playing football, and, the Big Eight was doing great. Colorado was having a fantastic year or a couple of years. And actually my senior year in high school is the year where they won the national championship. And everybody assumed that I was going to go to University of Colorado or Colorado University, but, they was in the Big Eight. So, half of the teams in the Big Eight at the time was doing wishbone and just doing smash mouth. And I wanted to go to a conference where they threw the ball at. And that was either going to be the SEC or the Pac-10.
Okay.
And, it was one of those deals. I want to play early. and I want to kind of go somewhere where I could flourish. I can do some things. And playing in the Rose Bowl has always been a dream of mine, and so I ended up heading up to University of Oregon.
Now, Colorado, if I remember right, that is when you were in high school. That should have been the end of Cordell Stewart's tenure there as quarterback, correct?
Let me see. Cordell Stewart. I think he was. I think we were. No, I think he was still playing.
Okay, so
I think I could be wrong.
I think he got to the Steelers.
No, because it was Charles Johnson. It was Charles Johnson.
Okay,
was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
and then Cordell came out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Cordell was playing for the Steelers in Super Bowl 30 as Slash still back then, and that was the year before you were drafted. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to make sure I got my time frame correct. Okay, so describe your years at Oregon. How was it being out there? You know, you're a Colorado kid out in Oregon in the Emerald Valley. What was it like out there?
Yeah, no, it was great, man. It was a great time. It was a beautiful campus. You know, the way they recruited me it suited my style. I wasn't about the fluff and the hoorah. It was I wanted to go somewhere and flourish, and they had a great coaching staff. They just didn't have the athletes to get out there and really compete in the Pac-10. But with the recruiting class that I was on, as well as the recruiting class that was before us, there was some game changers, and Chad Cota was one of those guys, and Ricky Whittle also, who was drafted by the Saints.
Yep.
And we just really came together my junior year, and even though we started the year 1 and 2, is we knew we had something special, and so we got together as a team. We kicked all the coaches out, and we had a team meeting, and we kind of aired out the dirty laundry. And so after that meeting, we were all on the same page, and we was all geared towards winning the Pac-10. And sure enough, man, everything happened the way it's supposed to, and we won the Pac-10. We beat some teams that we haven't beaten in over 20 years. We beat USC down in LA. Beat Washington at home, and we did some really spectacular things that year, and we ended up winning the Pac-10 and going on and facing Penn State in the Rose Bowl.
That's great. Now I got to bring up something that was kind of bad. I believe it was your junior year. Oregon ended up in the Independence Bowl, and you had that knee injury. You blew out your ACL, MCL, and PCL. So describe the rehab of that and getting back into, playing shape after that.
Yeah, and actually that happened my redshirt freshman year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so it happened my redshirt freshman year, and it was a blessing in disguise, actually, because it gave me a chance to really I was a good athlete, but I didn't know how to run. I didn't work on any type of technique on running, jumping, landing, all that stuff. And it gave me a chance to work with our world-renowned strength coach, which at the time he was just Coach Rad. But come to find out, that was Coach Jimmy Radcliffe, who was a world-renowned plyometric and speed coach. And actually, he just coached the gold medal team in the last Winter Olympics for the hockey, for men's hockey. So, I got a chance to work with him for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for about 8 months. So he taught me really how to run. And so I became efficient, and I became a better athlete. Now, that road to recovery, it was just more than 8 months, but after 8 months, I was back with the team. I was starting. Now, I wasn't the same type of athlete, but the tools that he gave me helped me later on, like that next year, which was my junior year. now, I was over a year and a half removed from our surgery, and I was really being efficient with my movement. And I owe a ton of my success on the football field to Coach Radcliffe.
Well, that's great. So now you're getting your senior year, and you've become a much better defensive back than you were when you came in. And like you said, your injury kind of helped you become a better player. So let's just pretend like you're going to be Alex Molden, the scout. You're scouting Alex Molden, the player. Describe how you saw yourself your senior year as far as what NFL teams are looking for. What were your strengths, and what were the kind of things you thought you needed to work on your senior year to become that top 10 prospect, or that one of the first corners, I believe, drafted in the 1996 draft class?
Yeah, I think, my strengths were my ability to play bump and run coverage, to play man-to-man coverage. And I was really bred to play bump and run. And I didn't learn to play off coverage until a little bit later on in my collegiate career. But starting off, bump and run. And I learned the hard way. I used to get beat, off the line, even, from my alignment. So it took a while to kind of learn how to do that. But by the time I was a junior and senior, I was pretty efficient at it. So I would say, bump and run, athleticism, I can jump. I wasn't afraid to come up and tackle. I would say my weaknesses was probably like my deep ball drill or deep ball skills and really high pointing it. So that was one thing that I really worked on my senior year, and then also leading up to, I think it was my third or fourth year with the Saints, when Coach Rick Venturi really, I was his project in terms of like working on the deep balls, because, I have a stigmatism in my eyes, and it's just the depth perception was challenging to me, and so I really worked hard to improve that. But yeah, I would say, my deep ball skills were something that needed to be improved.
Okay. So when you got drafted in 1996, did you discuss or even meet with the Saints prior to that, or do you have any idea if the Saints were interested in you? Because I know you said you were kind of hoping you go to the Denver Broncos, obviously because Colorado. You were hoping to go to some teams that you were more familiar with. What was it like, that draft day, and also what was it like, getting in touch with the Saints and becoming a New Orleans Saint?
Oh yeah, no, draft day was fantastic. The combine, talking with the different clubs. I visited Cincinnati, Baltimore, Tampa, and the Saints were nowhere to be found. They didn't contact me, not even on draft day, where I learned out where I was going, just like everybody else, right? I was watching TV.
Man,
and then I heard my name, and it was something like, I was like, what did that just happen? Because typically the club calls the player, right? And then you're on the phone with them, and then, hey, we think Alex is going to be the next pick of the so and so team. I didn't get any of that. It was I mean, they weren't, I was thinking, my agent told me, the Giants, they were in need for a corner, but they was at number 5. That was a little bit too soon, they felt. Cincinnati was at, I think, 10, and then Tampa was at 12, and the Saints, we knew that they was looking at a running back. They needed help at running back position. So, when that happened, that was a shock to, I'm sure, Saints fans and myself too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But I was excited to I didn't know a whole bunch about the city of New Orleans and Saints football. So it was all new to me.
Well, and I'll be brutally honest with you. The talk before that draft was that the Saints were really interested in the Michigan running back, Tim Biakabatua. That's who they had targeted. And I believe the Panthers.
That was Penn State.
Yeah. And I believe
no, he's Michigan.
Michigan. Yeah, Michigan.
Bianca Batuka was Penn State, was he not?
Nope, Michigan.
No.
Big Blue, Michigan. Go look it up. Look it up. Trust me. It's Michigan. Anyway,
it's not Alzheimer's, it's just sometimers.
There you go. There you go. You got CRS. Can't remember shit. But it beats Kraft. Can't remember an effing thing. So you're good. Anyway, yeah, that was the target, and then the Panthers took him. So, and on draft day, I know my perspective. I'm listening to the radio, the local broadcast. They had Buddy D'Alberto and Mike Detillier on the radio, and there was a lot of murmur about, okay, well, Eddie George is sliding from Ohio State. And it was a surprise they got you, not because of who you are, but like you said, they needed help at running back because we weren't sure what you were going to get out of oh, shoot, I just forgot his name now. Number 24. Mario Bates. Thank you. Yeah, we weren't sure we would get on Mario Bates. He got close to 1,000 yards in 95, but he didn't get it. And
yeah, but that was during a time when if a Saints running back got close to 1,000 yards, it's time to get a new running back because they're going to just completely fall off the map the next season.
But, the thing was, too, that was also the offseason that we brought in like half the Eagles' defensive secondary. We brought in Eric Allen in free agency, Mark McMillan, and I think we got Greg Jackson from the Giants. Yep. So, we kind of rebuilt the Giants secondary. So cornerback wasn't really on people's radar. So, that's why I was going to lead into this question with you. Did you coming in as the unexpected draft pick or the luxury pick because we had McMillan and Eric Allen, did that kind of add a lot of pressure to you your rookie year coming to the Saints?
Did that what to me?
Oh, pressure. Did it add a lot of pressure? I'm sorry. Did it add a lot of pressure to you to kind of fulfill that expectation of being a number one pick in a position where we didn't really need you to start, and you kind of had to prove that you belong, that you really should be out there playing?
Yeah, I mean my rookie year there wasn't a whole bunch of pressure. They asked me. We have Mark McMillan at one corner. We have Eric Allen, and really they want to have three solid corners out there in the NFC West. With their nickel package, which is much. They play Atlanta, who was running the running sheet back then. The Niners, would often go into three receiver sets, and same thing with the Rams. So they needed three solid corners. And so that really did take the pressure off.
Well, okay. So, of course, the 1996 season was kind of to put it mildly, a disaster for the Saints. Jim Moore resigns midway through the season. You get Rick Venturi as the interim coach, and after that season, they kind of blew up. The front office, blew up the staff. A whole new staff comes in, and it was the Mike Ditka reign of error. So you have Coach Ditka come in, and he starts bringing in his players. You being drafted by people who are no longer there, what happened that 1997 year? It's your second year in the league. What happened with that new staff? Because they didn't pick you. So, they got to make you work because you were a first-round pick, but you're not their guy. So how was that? Uh-oh. Did we lose him? I think we lost him. I brought up Mike Ditka's name, and that's all it took.
Every time someone says Mike Ditka on this show, it cuts the transmission.
I'm telling you, it's like saying Bloody Mary in front of the mirror in the dark 10 times. You cannot bring up Mike Ditka's name on this show.
Beetlejuice.
I hope text Alex real quick because I know he missed the second half of my question because I really want to go into. I know, John Butler did a great interview with him, and that's where some of my questions are coming from. I want him to talk about that year, his first year with Ditka, because he really ended up in the doghouse that year, and I want him to talk about what had happened. Yeah, he just disappeared. I hope he comes right back. Oh, there he is. He's back.
There we go.
All right.
I never lost him.
Well, Alex, I apologize because, like I was saying when we were off the air a second ago, you bring up the coach's name, and it's like saying Bloody Mary in front of the mirror in the dark. You lose everything. So, without further ado, I don't know how much of my question you got. When the new staff and everyone came in 1997, talk about your second year in the league where you weren't their guy. What happened that year?
Well, it was a blessing because I got a chance to work with Willie Shaw. And, Coach Shaw taught me so much that year. And I think with what I showed in the during spring OTAs, they had ended up letting Mark McMillan go. They released him. And I was, so then I was, I had the other corner spot opposite of Eric Allen, and I got a chance to really learn. I didn't learn a whole bunch about defense and cornerback play my first year, but under Willie Shaw, I really learned the game and the different. It wasn't just about man to man, but the different coverages, and he taught me the nuances and the little keys and techniques. I finally learned technique. And it was something that I only had him 1 year, but I learned so much in that 1 year, and I was a sponge. So, even though I wasn't Ditka's guys or, that coaching staff, I was Willie Shaw's guy. And, I'll be forever grateful for having him coach me up for that 1 year.
Well, that first year, Ditka, he actually had a lot of good coaches on that staff. It was just a lot of them. It was almost like the game had kind of passed some of those coaches. That's not right. I shouldn't say that, but it's almost like the game was evolving while those coaches had come into the league, and they were kind of not into the changes, but the knowledge and the experience were just unbelievable. And I feel also that some of them were kind of ill-placed. Like, Tom Moore was the Saints quarterback coach, I believe.
No, he's running back coach.
Running back coach. Yeah. And for those who don't know, Tom Moore was the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts during the Peyton Manning years. So the man had incredible knowledge, but instead of putting him in at the offensive coordinator position, they had Danny Abramowitz in there at offensive coordinator. It was clearly that was not where he belonged. It was over. He was over his head. That's where Tom Moore should have been. So it was. And the offensive line coach Dick Stanfield was a former Saints offensive line coach back in the late '70s under Dick Nolan, and it was good people, but not in good places. So I'm glad Willie Shaw was on that team because Harold Jackson, I think, was wide receivers coach too at the time. But Willie Shaw, when I saw his name, I was like, that is a good coach. That is one of the best coaches, just the knowledge of the game. And it's just unfortunate that the staff was good, just not. You almost need to turn just a little bit more and shift some people around. And, man, we would have had perfect staff right there. But I'm glad he was there to help you. So what happened during the Ditka years as you went on in 98, 99?
I think, I remember, in year 99, which was Ditka's last year, and we had, and then we brought in Ashley Ambrose and Tyrone Drakeford was already there. And Ashley was a hell of a player, man. He was balling for us.
but we had issues on the other side and we had Tyrone Drakeford and Fred Weary. Fred Weary.
Yeah.
So, but I was in Dicker's doghouse, for some reason, I still don't know. And I had a talk with him early on in the year where I wasn't getting any time, not even on the nickel package. And I was like, look, I want to play. What do I need to do? And he really didn't have an answer. I asked him, what do I need to do to improve? What are you looking for so I can get on the field? I have more chances to get on the field. I wasn't even playing special teams. So I was frustrated. And I said, well, you know what? If I'm not going to play, coach, trade me.
Mm-hmm.
Trade me. I'll play for somebody else. I mean, I love the Saints and what they have going and the players they have there. But I was, trade me. And then that really put me in the doghouse. So I didn't play at all that year. So I don't remember it. So, but then, the next year when Coach Haslett, Jim Haslett came and kind of gave me a fresh start, that really kind of revamped and really put a chip on my shoulder. And I was ready. I was ready to go that year.
Well, and, I gotta ask, are you still in playing shape? I mean, you look fit and trim and ready to go.
You only see the shoulders up, man.
Well, I'll trade you right now for PJ Williams, a straight up trade.
Oh no, PJ's doing okay as long as he can tackle. He's doing good. But okay, so you went through 3 coaching staffs, and I was just going to say, what did Dick know? He had Rob Kelly out there playing safety, and the guy couldn't tackle. So, but so you go through 3 coaching staffs. Did you feel like each time you had a different coaching staff, you almost had to prove yourself all over again to the new staff?
You know what? It's not. I'm gonna say prove yourself because in the NFL, every day you have to prove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, because there's somebody that wants your job. There's young guys that they're bringing in every Tuesday, which is your day off during the season. They're having open tryouts, and so you got to prove yourself every day. So that mentality really helped me during my years playing in the NFL, but then also now is, the different talks that I'm giving is proving yourself every day. And, you don't know, with the changes that are, that can happen in the workplace, the changes, you got to have a system in place to, always be ready to prove yourself. Because, if you're not, you become stagnant. And when you get stagnant, you're out of there. So,
right.
Yeah, I just always stayed ready.
Well, you made the comment that about your speaking. What exactly? Tell everyone what it is that you have going these days, Alex.
Yeah, so I've been a performance trainer for the past 12 years, where I'm helping athletes, become quicker, faster, and stronger. I've trained some athletes, to get them ready for their pro days and their combines. But, for the past 2 years, I've been doing a lot of motivational speaking for different organizations and corporations and schools. And, Nike, I've done some stuff for Microsoft and some startup companies up in Seattle. And where I really give programs and presentations built on team and what it takes to build a galvanized team and always being ready. So, I've been doing that, man. I've been having a lot of success, and I'm in the process of finishing my first book, and just kind of giving different formulas, what I've learned while playing college football and in the NFL, and taking those.
Is it? Oh, we lost his volume. Great.
Did we lose him again?
I think we lost him again. Oh man! And Alex, can you hear us now? Your volume dropped out. Alex, your volume dropped off, and we lost your sound just as you were talking about your book. Can you hear all of us? Can you hear any of us? Oh, poor Alex, man. And I want to talk to him about that book now. I'm interested in that book. Alex, testing 1, 2, 3. Alex, text him real quick again and let him know that we've lost his sound. I can see him. He's fine.
I've still got his icon on my.
Yeah, I can see him fine. I can see him moving and everything. We just don't have any sound. And I'm worried we're going to lose him again in a second. Because I really want to talk to him about that book he's writing. I know he can only stay with us for a short time.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Alex? Alex, we can't hear you.
Alex, can you hear me now?
We're not getting any sound, and I got him turned all the way up too. Shoot. Ask him to drop out and drop back in again, because that might help him, because he's staying a lot longer now. It's we're not losing like before. He was getting pixelated and he was dropping and freezing, but now we got a good video feed. We just don't have a good audio feed. This damn site. I'll tell you what.
We have to find a new platform.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Okay,
hey,
good
right.
deal.
Well,
good deal. All right.
You were talking about.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you fine now.
Okay.
Can you hear us? You can hear us?
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
you were talking about you,
Alex.
ahead,
I know that we've ran you very long from the aforementioned time frame that you gave us, and I so appreciate you being here, man. You were talking about the book. If you would elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So what I'm doing is I give 8 principles to building a galvanized team, and so this kind of goes over what I've learned playing both college football, playing in the NFL for 8 years. You know, having a family of we got 8 kids, me and my wife. So,
oh my God!
wait, are you competing with Phillip Rivers?
No,
you know?
no, I am not.
Hey, Phillip's off season has started. He liable to catch up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, I give principles that organizations, you know, can kind of, you know, learn and be able to apply to help build a more galvanized team. So, you know, it's been fun.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, no. Did everybody freeze or just me?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm wanting to put my fist through this thing right now.
I bet.
I utterly despise Google Hangouts.
Oh, there he goes. Okay. So we dropped you for a second there. What's the title of your book, real quick, Alex? Alex?
Oh, the
title of your book.
The 8 principles of building a galvanized team. And it'll be on my website here shortly.
Okay.
Well, when your book comes out, please, you want
I'm gonna send you a copy. Come on now.
Please.
I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely.
But when it comes out, you are more than welcome, and consider yourself invited to come back with us and promote your book as well.
Excellent. Will do. Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank you, Alex, for being a part of this show tonight, and thank you for being patient with us and sticking around as long as you did. I know
all three times.
Yes, all 3 times. We appreciate you being on the show.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you so much, Alex.
You have a good evening.
You got it.
All right, good night.
Okay, you guys have fun. Go Saints.
Thank you, Alex. Good night.
Who dat, baby?
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Alex.
Who dat?
Oh, I got him to say it.
There you go.
$10 bonus for the kid.
All right.
Oh, well.
So it's a shame. You know, I know I went long and I went through a lot of Saints history with him and stuff, but I really was trying to steer him to explain some of the things, why things happen the way they happen, and hopefully got some good stories. But If we wouldn't have froze or even able to stay long, we would have got some better ones.
Well, you watch like the ESPN documentaries, the NFL Network stuff. You see the Drew Brees stories, the Tom Brady stories about how you ride off into the sunset with unicorns and rainbows and all that neat crap. But every player that goes through the process, that is not the end to the journey for every player. Now, if you have a career, you have to kind of define what success is to each one yourself. But looking at the guy, like I say, I'd still consider a straight up PJ Williams trade for him.
Poor PJ. PJ's actually playing a lot better than we give him credit for. Now he had
a lot of room to go in that direction. No, I make jokes, but PJ hasn't played bad. He's been an effective run stuffer. His pass skills are still kamikaze. I think that there's been a lot of improvement, and this is one of the things that I would have liked to have asked Alex's opinion on. The progression from being traded in the middle of the season to where he is now going into the NFC Championship game, the progression of Eli Apple. I think that's played a key role. And now that we're discussing the high blood pressure moment of Sunday past, once again, I think that the prevailing storyline is the offense had trouble getting untracked, and the defense bailed them out.
I think.
Go ahead.
Well, this is something Jimmy Johnson had said in the Fox pregame show. He said in 2014, it was funny. This is how you started the show. In 2014, Sean Payton made a decision saying, I shouldn't have to score 30 points a game because I can't get my defense to not give up 28 points a game. So he made a decision right then and there to change the roster, change the makeup of the team, get rid of Rob Ryan and the whole bit, get Dennis Allen back from the 2009 team where he was a secondary coach, and start building a team that the defense can help win ball games as well as the offense. So, and I thought about this, what he was saying, as the Saints did that, 11-minute drive. Now, some of it obviously is because of penalties, because we took not one but two shots, deep shots, to get a quick score, and we didn't get it, in that drive. But it's almost like Peyton trusted his defense enough that he could do things in that game that may not result in a 30-point score, which would have reduced a lot of our blood pressures, And he said, you know what? I can still win a 6-point ball game and protect a 6-point lead with this defense. And the defense kind of proved it Sunday.
Well, yes and no. I have every confidence in our defense. For the most part, I want to say that I have every confidence in the offense. Mm-hmm. I don't think that I'm completely off base in pointing out that Drew Brees did not have a Drew Brees-like day. And make no mistake about it, if this team is going to win the next two games, they're going to need that MVP Drew Brees kind of leadership performance type stuff. Now, at the same time, there was a point in the, I want to say late first quarter, early second quarter, where I was sitting there, and I want repeat exact terminology that I use, but I'm sitting here saying, why aren't we running the ball?
Yeah.
And a very wise man that I read Sunday morning before the game said, this needs to be the template of the game. The Saints need to run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That was you, by the way.
That was the theme of the weekend, though. If you look at it,
yeah, exactly.
All three games were running the football. Look, I'm gonna pull this up real quick because Avery Perkins threw this stat out here, and it's a lot faster for me to find his thing rather than go dig through my paperwork to see if I can find where I wrote this stuff down. Okay, so Nick Foles, first quarter was 7 of 8, 113 yards, a passing TD and a rushing TD. Quarters 2 through 4, 9 of 22, 88 yards, 2 interceptions. The first possession of the third quarter, first play, the crowd is so loud, he's got to burn a timeout. Now they're coming out of halftime. They should have a set of plays ready to go, but he had to call timeout. Then you watch the defense. They didn't get to Foles. They didn't sack him, but they put enough pressure on him to make him do checkdowns. And Demario Davis, the player, you're going to make fun of, P.J. Williams, they were all tackling these guys as soon as they caught the ball. Now, sometimes they got a first down that was in the fourth quarter, but for the most part, they really limited the impact of the Eagles' offense and kind of kept them on the sideline. Now, it helped us, obviously. Fletcher Cox goes out with an injury.
And Jason Peters as well.
Jason Peters had back trouble, so that helped our defense. But I'm talking about on defense. Their starting cornerback goes out with an injury. Michael Bennett in the wife beater jersey, he goes. Well, I'm telling you, what's with this? This whole thing. I hate those shoulder pads to begin with. I hate them all. Yeah. I would outlaw them all. Go back to the 90s. You got to wear the big ass shoulder pads like I did, like you did, like a real man did. Put all the pads on. Stop pulling up the stockings above your knees. All that crap. But the wife beater look was just killing me. Because, I got you're seeing nipple. You're not supposed to see nipple. This dude is showing off nipple. And he's got man boobs. I don't want to see any of that.
Oh, God. We just derailed the train.
Oh, I grew up watching Jim Burt with the Giants. Remember Jim Burt with the Giants? Yeah. His jersey was so tight. You could make out Rydell, in the pad. I mean, the 6 was here and the 4 was over here. Some of it was under his arm. For those who think I'm crazy, go Google the 85 and 86 Giants. Go look up Gary Reason's The Hit. When Gary Reason, Bob's hating me right now because I'm talking about this play. But, the Broncos are first and goal inside 3. And on 4th down, I think it is, Sammy Winder tries to leap over the top, and Gary Reasons is there. He's ahead of Winder. Before Winder can even jump, Gary Reasons comes and just tags him. And
I think that was on 3rd down.
Yeah, it might have been 3rd down. Oh, and I know the other play I'm thinking of with Jim Burt, where you can see how the 4 is stretched out under his armpit. Look up in the 86 playoffs against the 49ers when they knocked Joe Montana out of the game. They knocked him out cold. And you can see Jim Burt all celebrating, and the jersey's so tight. But, I mean, that's the era I'm used to seeing. But, that whole horror, Bennett just pisses me off anyway because he was a Seahawk, and that defense pissed me off. So, I'm not even going to go any more than that. But with the whole
wearing his son's shoulder pads to work.
Yeah, and then I just didn't get the whole pulling it all that out. Why? What is that? And he kept doing it, and I'm like, dude, fix your jersey. This is even my daughter's texting me. Fix your jersey. So anyway. That's why I said it was a wife beater look. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. That's how it looked.
I'm glad that we go after 8 o'clock because we've already used boobs and nipple, and that's
it's
just
put and boobs, moobs. That's what it was like. Peter Griffin in the jersey. That's what it looked like.
Oh God, that's nasty.
Hey man,
we're going into a completely different rating system for our show tonight.
Well, here's a funny
dome,
joke.
After dark.
Yeah, here's a funny joke. I think George Carlin told this joke, but it was only in the NFL could you look at a 400-pound man and call him an elite athlete.
Yep.
And it's true, but that's the way it goes.
Well, somebody sent after our little tribute to the WWE a week. So I remember when it was I think it was last week when Gene Okerlund died. Mm-hmm. And we did the entire WWE segment. Someone sent me a meme. It had a picture of Triple H standing there in his wrestling tights, and it says, "Professional wrestling, where men that don't wear pants fight over a belt." And I was like, wow.
There you go.
There are times in a man's life where logic is not supposed to pertain. So,
well, you see what happens to wrestlers and old guys is, they fight over a belt. Then when they get to be a certain age, then they make sure it stays on. They got the whole belt suspenders combo. So, that's where it goes.
Well, let me ask you this. As we try desperately to get the train back on the tracks now.
There we go.
Well, the Eagles game was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
We dropped 14 early. We held them scoreless for 3 quarters and put 20 on them. And the game should never have been as close as getting to the 2-minute warning and it's still being in doubt, in my opinion. But there's a lot of factors that go into that, in my opinion. You had your full complement of offensive linemen playing together for the first time as a unit in probably a month and a half to 2 months, maybe.
Since the Rams game. Or maybe the Bengals. No, I'm sorry, the Bengals game.
Bengals game, yeah. That's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, that's when he got hurt. It was a Bengals game.
And I think, and I've gotten some conjecture on this. While Drew may have struggled a bit with his accuracy or what have you, that pass, and I have to admit this begrudgingly, that pass from Taysom Hill to Alvin Kamara was a laser.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Taysom Hill will never be accused of wearing the number 9 jersey. But, it gave the opposition something to think about.
Go ahead now. In my opinion, what?
In your opinion, what are the 3 biggest priorities in this rematch with the Rams?
You have to remain unpredictable on offense. You're not going to be able to do all the same things you did. I keep hearing over and over again, this time they'll have Aqib Talib in there. And Aqib Talib's going to be all over Michael Thomas, and he's going to follow him all over the field. And, so Marcus Peters doesn't have to deal with him. Well, Peyton knows this. And Peyton is going to design an offense that will take advantage, find the matchups he's looking for with Peters. And I think, having Ted Ginn, who, yes, he missed him on a pass. I think two deep passes. But, Ted Ginn did have some impact catches in the game that make a difference. Yes, it was the Michael Thomas show. That pass he threw, it threw the Eagles off. And this is what I mean by unpredictable. Because the previous play, Hill ran the go route, the vertical route down that the defensive back covered. So when Hill comes in to throw a pass on the next play after just running 40 yards, 50 yards downfield, they watch Kamara. They just let Kamara go. No one touches him off the line. No one even picks him up as he's coming across the middle. And you see Malcolm Jenkins racing over there because Taysom Hill, instead of running, like which they expect him to do, he cocked his arm back and threw that gorgeous pass. And it bugged me that they called that holding call on Pete. Not because it is technically a holding call because he's got him around the neck. But if I showed you how many times I've seen tackles do that and no flag get called, it was one of those games where anytime Pete screwed up, it was going to get called. It was just that kind of keep him.
That kind of hold is only legal in Foxborough.
Yeah. I was thinking about the Junior Gillette play as well. But yeah. Anyway, is it a hold? Yes, it's a hold, but you could really almost call holding on every play. And we saw the phantom holding call against Max Unger later on in that same drive where the guy falls down. Unger kind of finishes it by pushing him down. They're like, oh, that's a hold because the guy's on the ground. No, it's not. He was falling.
That's called an illegal clip.
Yeah.
That's not holding.
Again, it was just one of those things. They were just going to call us on that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. And, of course, Pete was playing with a broken hand. Pete had surgery on his hand. He was playing with a cast, and his hand in that glove was kind of stuck in this position. So, and I'm sure it felt wonderful every time Fletcher Cox swiped at that hand and hit it. I'm sure, that just was killing him every time.
It may have been a good thing he had on the dark pants.
Well, no, it was more like it's a good thing they didn't mic him up for the game because we would have had a lot of bleeps because I know I would have been cursing. And that probably because of his hand is probably why he had 2 false starts against him. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that's all part of it. So he's got a big challenge this week against Aaron Donald and Sue. So again, going back to your question before, what do they have to do? Remain unpredictable. Taysom Hill throwing passes like that, deep passes when they don't expect it. Calling unpredictable plays to help out Pete playing with basically one hand. And Teron Armstead's still not 100%. I mean, he said it was a good pain from his pec muscle, but he doesn't have the strength that he had from the Cincinnati game before. So you have to do those kind of things. And on defense, you cannot let them run the football. You have to. McVay is a lot like the Rams coach, Mike Martz. He's a lot like Mike Martz in the mindset of if the run's not working in the first couple runs, I'm going to stop doing it because you know what I love? I love big plays, and I love the passing game. So if you want to get Gurley out the game, let's get him frustrated with Gurley early in the game, and he'll stop calling so many running plays because he's going to want to start throwing the ball a lot more. And I think that more plays to the same strength, especially with Sheldon Rankins being out. I think, we can run the NASCAR package where you might put, I saw this a couple of times. Okafor line up a defensive tackle. You get Tyler Davidson.
Davidson.
No, not Davidson. Stallworth.
Hendricks.
No. Stallworth.
76.
Yes, a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
I just drew a blank on his name, but anyway, his first name. But
Stallworth is good.
Yeah, you get Stallworth in there. You get Okafor in there, along with, Jordan moving around looking for his best matchup. And, of course, David, you get the big rookie draft pick, Davenport in there. You start running those guys. well, you get Onyemata to come in there sometimes too, but I'm saying, that was one of their little NASCAR packages I saw where you start getting a lot of pass rushers in there. And then, of course, they blitz either Von Bell or P.J. Williams comes in from the corner, or you see Davis come in on a blitz, stuff that they're going to do the moving pocket. They're going to roll him out. When he likes to roll out, he's looking for the dig route, to Woods. That was the play that we got the interception last time on. That's the kind of stuff you need to do. Keep the Rams off balance offensively and defensively. Make him kind of dig into the playbook a little bit and take the run away from you. So that's my keys to that game.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. The $1 million question that I'm sure you're getting as much as I am these days. Is this that team?
I don't know. I would have said that in 2011. No, I'm serious. In 2011, I thought that was that team. I really did. And what happens? In the first series, the first drive, Pierre Thomas gets knocked out of the game. He fumbles the ball. We turn the ball over 4 more times before halftime in that game. And we still come back. But the point is, that felt like it was that team.
Yeah.
I can't tell you until we play this game. Do they have the ability to be that team? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because your defense is making plays. Your defense is forcing turnovers, just like that 2009 team. I even wrote that Lattimore channeled his inner Tracy Porter because it wasn't just an interception. It was an important game-changing interception. We sealed the game with that pick. The first interception set up the momentum change that we got with special teams with Taysom Hill with the fake punt. You think about in the NFC Championship game 2009, what set up that final drive? We had Pierre Thomas return the kickoff on the opening drive of overtime. We have Pierre Thomas return the kickoff almost to the 40. We've now shrunk the distance that we had to go for that game-winning field goal because of that. So, special teams again in 2009 helps out. That's the things that didn't happen in 2011. We didn't get those turnovers. We didn't get the special teams plays. So, are we that team? We'll find out on Sunday when the game is played, and we should get those kind of plays. I'd love to see Taysom Hill block a punt. I'd love to see Taysom Hill return a kickoff or a punt for a touchdown. I think the dome would explode if that happened.
I want Taysom to block a punt. I want him to throw a touchdown pass. I want him to run a touchdown. I want him to have a return for a touchdown. I want Taysom Hill to be like
Reggie Bush.
No,
Reggie Bush.
Wait a minute. Go back. Kansas City. Podolak.
Oh, Ed Podolak.
Y'all
number
go Google that.
Ed Podolak, number 14 for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right.
1971 Christmas Day, the longest game ever played.
That's right.
Game, the Chiefs and the Dolphins. I was just talking about that game the other I really was the 1960-69 NFL Facebook group. We were just talking about that game because it was the first. This Sunday is the first AFC or AFL championship game held in Kansas City. And I thought it was the first one since Arrowhead, since they moved to Arrowhead in 1972, but it's not, because a guy reminded me in 62, the AFL championship game was held at Old Jepson Stadium in Houston before they had the Astrodome. In 66, it was held at War Memorial Stadium in Buffalo. That's the game they won to go to Super Bowl I, which today is the 52nd anniversary of Super Bowl I, by the way. January 15, 1967. I only know that. I know people are like going, how the hell does he know this? I only know that because my parents' anniversary was yesterday, and my dad talks about how he watched the ball game on his honeymoon because, you know, my mom was just like, nope, ain't happening. Nope, 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 nope. You know, so he watched the ball game. That's where that he always
did the Chiefs. They made the AFC Championship when Montana was there, did they not?
No. Divisional round. They won the wild card game against the Oilers in Houston. But I want to say they lost the divisional round. Oh, let me Google this real quick. I'm sorry.
Because that team featured not only Joe Montana, but also Marcus Allen. I remember that.
Yes, it did. 94 Kansas City Chiefs season. Wait a minute. Okay, no, it's got to be 95 then. Because I thought it was 94, but it was 95. It can't be 95. It wasn't that long. Bono was quarterback, so it's got to be 93. God. Yes, it was 93 because Buddy Ryan was the defensive coordinator for the Houston Oilers, and I watched the NFL films on that team, the 93 Oilers. I forgot about that.
Gilbride.
Yes, they lost. They did make it to the AFC Championship game, but that was in Rich Stadium. So it was divisional. They won against the Steelers and Arrowhead. I forgot all about that until I just saw this. They beat the Oilers. I remember that game because the turning point in that game was a tight end. Tight end's name was Jonathan Hayes. He catches the pass and he throws the ball right in Buddy Ryan's face. They had a big poster sheet on the side in the corner of the end zone, Buddy Ryan's face. And it was about, the 46 defense and how the Oilers were going to the Super Bowl because of the 46 defense. And Jonathan Hayes just chunks that football right in the Buddy Ryan's face, and that was a turning point in the game. They talk about that. And they ended up winning the game because of Montana Magic. But they lost to the Bills in Rich Stadium in the AFC Championship game. Yeah. Yes, that was the last time the Chiefs were in the AFC AFC Championship. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, it's been a great show, man. Thank everyone for joining us tonight. You will notice that we have selectively chosen not to prognosticate towards Sunday. That is a conscious effort.
I can't
either. If the New Orleans Saints go in there and they handle their business, there's no team in the NFL, either the AFC or the NFC, that can even remotely come close to competing with them.
No,
but yet and still, you're going to have to go out there and do it.
I feel in my heart that they're going to win the game. That's my Saints fan. The whole bit. Because I think it's like Peyton Manning said in the America's game, it's our time. It's our time to win.
Yeah. And
I feel like it's our time. I don't like the idea of the Rams buying their way into a championship. I didn't like it when the 49ers did it in 94. I certainly don't like it seeing the Rams try and do it. I think it would be just fitting that after they make all those moves that they lose this game. And I think the Superdome just, I'm telling you, the crowd noise, and I didn't go to the game. I saw it on TV, but you could hear the noise. That was a different level of noise. And I know it's going to come again this weekend. I know they're going to be just as loud. They're going to play chopper style when the Saints take the lead, and the dome is going to shake just like it did this past Sunday. It's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere, and I don't think the Rams are ready for that kind of atmosphere because of this kind of game. I just don't see it. And Ralph Marlboro said it, and I totally agree with him. The Saints got their bad game out the way. They played a bad game against the Eagles where they stepped on the rake every time and they still won the ball game. This is the game where they're going to be like, you know what? This is it. We're going to show you we are who we are. And I think that's going to be it. And I want to see, although I think it's hilarious that you're not going to like this, but you've seen the Atlanta mayor. She has said that she doesn't want the Saints in the Super Bowl. Their worst nightmare for Atlanta is for the Saints to play the Patriots in the Super Bowl because they have no one to root for. They have no one to root for because they hate the Patriots at 28-3, but they hate the Saints too.
Well,
but I want the Chiefs. I want the Chiefs.
Actually, since we're like under the dome after dark, the only thing I saw that petty shit on the Atlanta mayor, and all I can tell the Atlanta mayor is bend over. The Saints are coming to town, and we're going to burn the house down.
Do you know how awesome it's going to be in the Atlanta Stadium to see one end zone painted with Saints on it, black and gold? That will be my new Facebook cover page when they paint that. End zone. It's going to be awesome. But that's what I'm looking forward to right there. That's why we have to win this game because I want to see that. I want to see Atlanta overrun with Saints fans walking all over the place in black and gold jerseys. Because Atlanta, for the 12 fans that make up the Atlanta Falcon fan base, that's going to be really hard. Hey, man, that's 11 more than the Bucks got right now. So, I take that back. The Bucks are actually, because they made a good hire with Bruce Arians, I think the Bucks fan base will start growing.
Yes.
They are going to be a team to mess with, have to deal with. That's why we really need to win this year because I think the Bucks with Bruce Arians will be a team on the uprise. I don't feel that way about Atlanta because Atlanta went back to picking up ex-girlfriends. They brought back
Cutter,
Dirk Cutter, their old offensive coordinator, who the fans were ready to run out of town. And when you feel jilted at the altar, the last person you should go back to is your ex-girlfriend. But that's what they did. So I don't know how well this is going to work out. And then Carolina, who knows? We'll see how that team rebounds, but that's much later. That's after you see wrap up, which hopefully happens after we win the Super Bowl, and we talk about that when we have to look for something to talk about in 3 weeks. So anyway,
thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank Banners Productions for sponsoring us. Thank you very, very much to our very special guest tonight for accommodating us with more time than we had allotted. Mr. Alex Molden, thank you so much for being our guest tonight. We look forward to welcoming you back as soon as your book comes out. And you guys can follow Alex on Facebook. He's on there. Great guy. And
real quick, before we get off the air, you've got to tell everybody what the hell that is behind you. Where did that come from? The cross.
Oh, this was a gift to me, actually.
Thank you.
It's got to tell its age. Over here is Darren Sproles. There's the pregame chant with Breeze. I'm trying to focus. Damn, it's too close. There's Marcus Colston.
And do your job. I can see that.
Do your job. And of course, the next governor of the great state of Louisiana.
Yeah. So where did it come from?
This was a gift to me. I can't remember if it was my mom or my sister that gave it to me, but
okay.
I think it was my sister that gave it to me.
All right.
I hung it up tonight for luck.
Oh, good. We can use all the help we can get. Last question real quick before we go off. you mentioned a contest. What is this contest that that the girl you mentioned at the beginning of the show? What is she competing to do? What kind of contest is this?
Okay, Angie Nemec she has entered a contest with a photo from oh dear heavens, hang on, I'm gonna get this right. Let me pull it up real quick. It's a hotel in New Orleans. Bear with me, guys. Well, pull up the website. La Pavilion.
La Pavillon.
Well, in West Monroe, it's La Pavilion.
All right. Well, I only know this because that's what my wedding, my reception party was at La Pavillon Hotel, and okay. I worked down the street, literally a block away from there.
Well, she took a photo. She had recently visited New Orleans, and she took a photo, and she entered it into a contest there. And the prize of the contest is a free stay at that place. I'm outside of jurisdiction to be able to pronounce it the way you do. So, but so far, it looks like she's placing very well. We want her. She lives in Tennessee. I guess that narrows it down close enough. But she is a diehard supporter of our show and of me and of us. And I would really love for her to be able to win this this free
What does she win? What does she win if she wins this? What does she get?
She gets a free stay at
La Pavillon. Okay.
Yeah. And from what I've seen, that is not a small prize.
No, it's a very beautiful hotel. It's an old hotel.
Yeah.
All the rooms have unique furnishings in it because it's done in a very, very old style of not colonial. I want to say Georgian period, but I have to go back and look again. But anyway, it's let's just say 1700s. Okay.
Old.
Yes.
Old. Not me and you old, but like old.
Yes.
But I would very much love to see her win this contest. She deserves it, and we want to lend our support to her and invite everyone that supports us to support Angela as well. The link to go to the site and vote is on our Facebook page.
Okay, good deal. Well, good luck. I hope you get to win because it's a beautiful hotel and you're right there downtown New Orleans. You are literally about 5 or 6 blocks away from the Superdome. You're a block and a half away from Walk-Ons. 2 blocks away. That's the Walk-Ons we were at.
Yeah.
You're about 2 blocks away from Dave and Buster's. You go down Poitras the other way. You head towards the casino, Fulton Street. The Riverwalk area, the convention center. All that stuff is within walking distance. That is part of the appeal of New Orleans, by the way. Why they like to host the Super Bowl and why so many people like the Super Bowl to be held in New Orleans because everything is within walking distance of the stadium. So anyway, a little bit of history for all you people who aren't in New Orleans.
All right.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you for sticking with us as we kind of rambled on and carried on about different things. We appreciate you always. And this weekend, we got it. We just need everybody to be loud and pumped up. We're going to take this. We will take this from the Rams. I'm confident we will take this from the Rams. And next Tuesday night, we will be talking about the Super Bowl. So, in the meantime, remember, we're the first game, 2:05 Central Standard Time, 3:05, I believe, Eastern Time is when the game starts. It's kind of an odd time, I know, but they want one game to be almost prime time. So that's why the odd time. So anyway, with the first game, enjoy it. It's going to be nerve-wracking. I know. Take your heart medication. Get ready. It's on.
Anybody that has any extra heart medication, please, I'll provide my address later. I could use it.
I just sound like I have Tourette's to my neighbors. They just hear these profane words blurted out for no apparent reason.
Man, when Breeze threw that pick first play, I just basically went into mild convulsions.
No, I was like,
then stuff started hitting the walls.
No.
And then when Lat made that play at the end, I beat my recliner up. But we're good.
I was just like when Lattimore picked off that pass, I'm like, ball game. That's it. That kind of thing. I'm like, you can take a knee for 3 straight times, but then when Kamara gets that first down, that was just a piece of work. That was unbelievable. Yeah. 3rd and 10, and he picks up 11. So that was great. Anyway. Thank you guys for joining us and sticking with us, and we'll see you next time Under the Dome. Good night, everybody.
Love you guys. Thank you for joining us.